So let me tell you a story. In 2015, my cousin bought a Duke 200. And I picked up my cell phone, randomly recorded a video, and uploaded it to YouTube. And that is how this channel came into existence. That was in 2015, a decade ago. Now we're in 2025, and 10 years later, I am now ready to go pick up my brand new 2025 KTM Duke 390 Gen 3 gunmetal gray. The reason why I say brand new is because both the bikes that I owned before this, the Suzuki Fiero and the Yamaha FZ16, which I, by the way, still have, both of them happen to be pre-owned. Now, this was just a pragmatic coincidence. It was not because of some kind of a struggle, and there's no story over here that goes that I persevered for a decade and it finally culminated in me saving enough money to buy my dream bike. It would be a lot more dramatic and perhaps suited for YouTube if that was the case, but it simply would not be true. And even if I'd bought a brand new bike back in those days, there was none of this pageantry and spectacle associated with it. You didn't walk into a showroom and lifted the covers off the bike like you were, these rituals didn't exist back then. Social media was not what it is today, and people didn't want to make a spectacle out of everything. But regardless of that, a decade is still a long time, even by my standards, to actually make up your mind to buy a bike. In all honesty, I decided only earlier this year, very seriously, and then went about booking a bunch of test rides. I evaluated 7 different bikes, took 13 test rides across 53 days, and I've made a video about this, which underscores the importance of putting in the right amount of effort to take multiple test rides until you are satisfied. I'll link it somewhere over here. Watch it if you haven't. As a 10-year update, my cousin is now in Germany. His Duke 200 lies untouched for the last 3 years. And from the various visits I had to the KTM showrooms when taking test rides, I always saw a bunch of people collecting their bikes. And these people, mostly young men, had invited their entire hood to be part of this big day. Now, some of them even had a professional camera guy with a DSLR and a gimbal, and I sat over there feeling really good for them and clapping along because the euphoric joy that youth experiences when they experience something for the first time is contagious. But my own delivery experience was going to be a rather simple process. There weren't going to be 7 friends hooting and whistling as wait a minute, I actually don't have 7 friends. And as you grow older, you'll realize that it is not such a bad thing after all. So I booked myself an auto to go to the KTM showroom in Baswangudi, and funnily enough, I spent 5 of the most magical years of my childhood growing up in this locality, and every single time I go over there today, it is like a trip down nostalgia lane. I texted a friend of mine who I've known since kindergarten, and he was going to join me directly at the showroom. He's the same friend that I'd asked to come along for the test ride of the Guerrilla 450 when I was still confused between the Duke 390 and the Guerrilla 450. Now, people who've known you for such a long time just have a knack of cutting through the noise and helping you see the reality for what it is. And sometimes that is exactly the kind of simple, straightforward input you need in order to make up your mind. So with all of these thoughts in my head, the honking of impatient motorists and the soft lapping of Bangalore's wind, I finally arrived at the showroom. Right, here we are at the KTM Baswangudi showroom, and it's finally D-Day. My voice has gone hoarse, but yeah, today's the day. So let's go ahead and make it happen. Hello. Hi, sir.
select button. Double click, it will goes to motorcycle, street, rain, track power delivery will be more. Okay. When you set on track also, the layout also change. Launch control, when it turns to track mode, it will be open. This is used in tracks. It unlocks in 7000. Next info. Fuel, it's in yellow color means it's in upper reserve. Green means top of the reserve. Okay, red means under the reserve.
Right, so this is Ritvik, who helped me out throughout the bike purchase process, and if you have any doubts, you can reach out to him. Ritvik, your number?
So my number is 9380-376-804. For any queries, you can contact me out.
Yes, this is the KTM Southern Circle branch. Get in touch with him, he will sort you out.
Now, after getting the bike, my friend and I chatted for a bit, catching up on old times, and he was actually quite impressed by the bike and all the electronics it has to offer. I could sense that there was a little spark in him to maybe get a motorcycle too. When I asked, he agreed that he thinks about it sometimes. Now, will the spark turn into a flame that will actually compel him to get one? Only time will tell. As I rode back home in the warm afterglow of nostalgia on a surprisingly hot Bangalore afternoon, I knew I'd made the right choice. 3 months ago, I thought that the Xpulse 210 was absolutely perfect for what I was looking for. It had sufficient power, it was fun to ride, and you didn't have to be gentle with it. But once I got a taste of the 400s and what they had to offer, the Triumph Twins, the Gorillas, the Dukes, there was absolutely no looking back. If only there was a way to combine what the Xpulse offers along with what the 400s bring to the table. But then, there is no such thing as a perfect bike. Or is there? This motorcycle is so much fun. I absolutely love it. Watch this space for more.